Hello everybody and welcome to another Premodern video. We're going to be trying out a very interesting one today. So this is something that it's really funny. I was actually driving from San Diego to LA and it just kind of clicked. Wait, you can combo like Sphere of Resistance plus Cataclysm. That feels like a good combo, huh? And then I looked and I saw literally no decks that were doing this, which kind of surprised me. So obviously the shell that I thought of was going to be something like Trashgeddon, right? So we have Terravores, we have Werebears, and then we have Weather Wayfarer. So this is an existing deck, and I actually talked to the creator of the deck, Patrick, and he is playing 4 copies of Nimble Mongoose in place of these Sphere of Resistances, and he thinks that they're very good. But I was never very sold on the card Nimble Mongoose ever, pretty much in Premodern, and I kind of really wanted to try out Sphere of Resistance. So the idea here is we're going to be playing, trying to lead on a Mox Diamond or something like to accelerate, and then Sphere of Resistance. Land the Sphere of Resistance and then sort of attempt to lock our opponent out thanks to Rishadan Port and Wasteland, and then eventually close the door with Cataclysm. So there are a couple of interesting quote-unquote combos, I guess, or little synergies happening here. The very first one is the fact that if you have a Sphere of Resistance in play, Rishadan Port becomes absolutely incredible. And the reason for that is because you are forcing your opponent to actually put more lands into play in order to actually do anything at all. And then you are actually allowing your Cataclysm to be much, much better. Obviously, when you have a 4-mana spell and you have, a Sphere of Resistance, turning that into a 5-mana spell, there's a little bit of synergy there. But the counter part of that is the fact that you're also slowing your opponent down in the process. And again, the Rishadan Port plus Wasteland synergy is very, very strong here. We also have Weather Wayfarer, which is a very truly fantastic card, really, in this format. Particularly always alongside Mox Diamond, of course. So the interesting thing about Wayfarer is that it can allow us to get, sort of value by tutoring out either Core Haven, which is fantastic versus Dreadnought decks, and then cycle lands like Secluded Steppe, Tranquil Thicket, or just like fetch lands to grow our Terravore. It can also find our ports and wastelands to do this sort of mana denial thing. And again, like Port plus Sphere makes it so your opponent has to deploy more lands, which means you continue to activate Wayfarer, and then eventually you get to a point where you just close the door with Cataclysm. We also have Aura of Silence as a way to tax our opponents, whatever things they're doing, and then we have Seal of Cleansing as a way to interact with enchantments and artifacts, which are the kings of the format. We also have Sylvan Library as card advantage, and then Source of Pleasures as extra removal. In order to close the game, we have, obviously, as I just mentioned, Werebear and Terravore. These are going to be like the heavy hitters. And then Treat of Village as a way to, sort of pressure, but without really playing into our Cataclysm. So that is also kind of something that I was not a big fan of. The original list was playing 16 creatures with the 4 monkeys. And then that kind of means that you're always going to be sacrificing a creature or two to your Cataclysm, which is kind of weird. And if you have a Terravore and a Werebear in play, you're just never ever going to keep that Mongoose, right? That one's going straight to the graveyard. So that's why I was not that huge of a fan of that strat. So we'll see if this works out. This is very, very much just theory, right? This is me thinking about this combination and this idea and trying to put something together to make it work. And again, I grabbed an original idea, and note that the original list did not have any ports, obviously did not have Sphere of Resistance, and it was playing the full 4 Cataclysm. But I think that this deck, thanks to the ports, is going to be much more mana hungry than the original one. Again, we want to be casting quote-unquote 5 mana Cataclysm, so having more lands makes sense. And also there's the fact that Port allows, what I explained already a couple of times, you want your opponent to be playing more lands. So we also have in the sideboard, which I pretty much copied from Patrick's list, with the only exception is that I made room for the 4th copy of Cataclysm. I'm only playing 3 in the main deck because of, we already have Wasteland and Port going on to combo with Sphere of Resistance, so I don't want to be flooded in Cataclysms. I feel like because I'm forcing my opponent to actually have more lands in play thanks to these, it's going to make it so I don't need to resolve multiple Cataclysms, and just the first one's going to be good. But there are going to be matchups like Elves, for example, where Cataclysm is just going to be fantastic. There's also an argument for these being either an Armageddon if I want to target different decks, or for this to be something like a Wrath of God if I want to target specifically a creature deck. So I'm going with the 4th Cataclysm for now, but this is again like my very first take at this deck. And then we have another copy of Aura Silence. This card is just fantastic in the format. Ray of Revelation, Disenchant, and Naturalize to have extra removal spells. An interesting card in Kirtar's Desire. This card is very interesting in my opinion. It's basically like 5 and 6 Swords to Plowshares, but it's only good obviously versus decks like Goblins or stuff like that are trying to attack you. If your opponent has something like a melee mage, then this card is just embarrassing. So, but yeah, it's gonna be able to like deal with opposing dreadnoughts, deal with opposing cards like that. So, very very interesting card. Not sure how good it actually is. I imagine it's decent enough, but like having access to just like 1 mana answer is a really big deal. Couple of copies of Heroes Reunion, 2 mana to gain 7 life, solid versus Sligh specifically, which I expect Sligh to be a somewhat problematic matchup, particularly because of the existence of the card Price of Progress. Just period. That's kind of the only card that I'm really scared of. Everything else we can probably beat somehow, and obviously you know a big Terravor is kind of impossible for them to deal with at all, so it's gonna be able to like raise fairly okay-ish, but you know, just Price of Progress is going to like reliably deal 6 to 10 damage or something like that, so that's really really scary. And Heroes Union is there as a way to like buy some time or hopefully make things a little bit harder for the Sligh player. A couple of copies of Cursed Totem. These are obviously against the Elves decks, and you know, stuff like Blue-Green Madness and whatnot. And finally, my split of Phyrex Infernus and Tormod Script. This split has been working wonders for me because they are kind of graveyard hate that are slightly different and then come in slightly different matchups. But you know, if you're playing against a combo deck, you're going to be bringing in both of them. But obviously, Crypt is going to be better in that specific matchup. But if you're playing against a survival / graveyard for value deck, then Furnace is going to be decent, while Tormod Script is just not going to be worth a card. So. This is going to be the decks that we're going to be playing, so hopefully it works out well. I'm really intrigued by this specific combination of cards, so we'll see how it works out. If you're enjoying my content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you for round number 1. Alright, so here we go for the first round. We're playing against Ollie, legend himself, Ollie Rad. I never know how to pronounce his last name. This hand looks fantastic, right? Let's keep this hand. We turn 1... He's on Elves. Okay, this is kind of scary, but somehow I kind of feel like this is not gonna be as bad, unless he's like main decking Naturalizes or something. But we're gonna go Mox Diamond, discard, and then I think we want to... Man, what do we do here? We can go either Library or Werebear. If we find exactly a land, then obviously Werebear is much better, but I think I actually want to guarantee that I hit my second land drop, so I'm going to go with Library instead. This may be a little bit greedy if he has a really good draw, but otherwise this seems fine. He's got Well-Wisher, swings in with Symbiote. This looks fine. We draw a Werebear, which is not particularly exciting. We do hit our land drop though, so I think I'm going to just take 4 to dig. So pay 4, play out Wasteland. Another question is whether we want to play out the Werebear or we want to play a 2/2 Terravor. I think I want to play the Werebear. So next turn I can double spell. Although actually, if I find the white source, I get to Cataclysm next turn, but I don't think I need to Cataclysm just yet, actually. I think I'm just going to go with Werebear, actually. So let's go with Werebear and pass it back. Not particularly afraid of the Well-Wisher just yet. Next turn we're going to get to potentially Seal of Cleansing, Multanius Acolyte. That's strong. Let's see if he has the Cradle. He does have the Cradle, so that's obviously very good for him. He doesn't have a Mana Elf though, which is good. So now he gets to like bounce and replay for free basically, so that's good for him. Really need to find Plow, I think. Okay, just untaps a bunch. I mean, he's gained a bunch of life, but I don't think that matters too much. Well, that's terrible news. No way to fetch. No way to fetch, just like no way to hit our land drop. This is just kind of a disaster. We don't have a second white source. So let's just put 2 Terravores on top, and I'm just going to cast one of these Terravores. Maybe I should have paid 4 actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, I definitely should have paid 4. Now that I think about it in retrospect, I feel like I should have paid 4 right there. So I probably should have attacked with the Werebear there actually. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, this is not really doing too much, right? So they replay the Multani Acolyte, 4 mana now. Obviously that's a lot scarier. Survival. Okay, so now we get to seal that away, which is nice. His engine is very much online though. He discards Acolyte. I was sort of saving this Wasteland to do something else, but now I feel like I should probably just Wasteland this Cradle. Or I guess I can just like Cataclysm. If I find a white source, I can Cataclysm, and if he keeps the Cradle, I can just Wasteland that. I wonder if he goes for Quirion Ranger here. He goes for Sligh. Okay. So we're definitely interested in blowing this up. So that's what we're gonna be doing next turn. Would really love to find a white source, that's for sure. Llanowar Elves. Okay. Okay, so life. Doesn't have any more mana. Okay, library. Give me a land, please. That's a land, perfect. So I think I'm paying 4. So now the question is, there's no reason to play this, so I'm just going to, I guess, play that, because if he, like, he's just not gonna have survival, right? So I'm just going to play this Cataclysm here. And we're gonna keep the Terravore. He's gonna bounce both of his elves, so he's gonna have them in hand, but it's gonna take him a little while to like recoup. And now he's kind of forced to actually sack this Cradle, meaning he's only gonna have a single green source. So if he survivals, he just does not develop his board, which is good for me. So artifact, enchantment, creature, land. I imagine he's gonna keep a basic forest. Any order. We get to swing for 7 here, which is pretty nice. And he does indeed keep the Llanowar Elf and survival, and he does keep the basic forest, which I think is correct. We're gonna get to blow up the survival, which is nice. I imagine he's gonna go get Priest. Anger. Interesting. Discarding Anger. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get, what's his name? The green dude. But now we get to like seal. We're gonna be spending this coming turn sealing the survival, so they don't have haste. He already made his land drop, Fiendhorn Elves. But it's not hasty still. Draw. Wayfarer, Aura. Okay, so really wish I had found a land there. Really wish I had found a land. So that goes on top. Probably cannot afford to take 4 more here. So I'm gonna put that on top. And we're gonna swing for 7. And we're gonna hope that he doesn't have another survival. So Seal of Cleansing, blow up survival. Here we go. If he has another survival, we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. But if he doesn't, then we may actually get to do some good stuff here. Okay, so he does have the red source anyway, has the fetch land. So that is really bad for us. We know he has Well-Wisher, so he's gonna get to kind of offset this Terravore fairly well. Probably not gonna be able to present lethal this turn, unless he has like multiple symbiotes and Quirion Rangers and stuff in hand, which he could have some. I wonder why he would keep the red mana there. That's interesting. I guess we'll see soon enough. Just start casting Sligh. Just does the 1/1. Alright, respect it. I respect the Sligh beatdowns. Take 2. It's cool. Okay, land. Boom, that's a land. So we get to drop another Terravore here. So put that on top, and we're kind of losing to a significant amount of cards here, but I think I have to play another Terravore and swing in for 9, and then obviously if he has, if he just naturally has the, what's his name, the one that puts 9 power into play, then that's gonna be bad for me. But I mean, this is winning the race, right? Because right now he's gaining 4 life up to 13, and then we just swing for 19, for 18, so that should close it. So as is, we are winning the race. But obviously, Wild Symbiote, Quirion Ranger, Survival just wins on the spot. So there are a bunch of cards that beat us here. Just realized my green screen was off, so I just fixed that. And the Well-Wisher is gaining some life here. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm blocking the priest. Don't think I have too many other lines there, so... Tangle Wire? Okay. Ha! Well, that's brutal. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna tap 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, if we draw a white source, we get to play a chump blocker. Okay, that's... I mean, yeah, I guess. So that's 10 now. So I play Wayfarer as a chump blocker, and any 1-drop kills me. So I guess I'm supposed to not attack. So here's the Plains, and here's Wayfarer as a chump blocker. And next turn I can just tap 3 things. If he has second Tangle Wire, we lose. If he has the Range Hermit, we probably lose as well. I guess it would need to be land plus Hermit. Survival. Ooh, got there. Let's go. All right, like winning game 1 seems very, very good for us. Okay, so this is the kind of matchup where a card like Kirtar's Desire does literally nothing, so that sucks. Cataclysm seems good, like number 4 into it. Curse Totem seems incredible, and Phyrexian Furnace seems also very, very strong. So these are the cards I'm interested in. I think I want Ray of Revelation over Aura. Just the more mana efficient option seems better here. Then what? Wayfarer seems kind of medium. So I could see cutting a couple of Wayfarers. I think Sphere is good enough. And Ray answers 2 survivals, and I'm more scared of survival than Tangle Wire. Maybe I should be also scared about Tangle Wire, but I think this is fine. I like... Do I like Sphere? Feels like it may be hurting me more than my opponent. I think I like it on the play, but I don't like it as much on the draw. And then all of these other cards don't really do anything at all, so I think I'm happy with this. Not sure how much better than this we can actually do. But Terrorwar seems like a big part of our game plan here. Game number 2. This hand seems good. This hand is good. We got some ways to disrupt. We have some Swords to Plowshares, Weather Wayfarer action. If my opponent plays a Mana Dork on 1, I think I'm gonna plow it. But if he plays Werewood Symbiote, I think I don't. It's not a Mana Dork, so I'm just going to Wayfarer. Pass the turn. So now I'm gonna get to activate Wayfarer. Oh, I guess I cannot activate Wayfarer in the face of... And now we get to plow the Priest. Yeah, this is great. Awesome. So, Swords to Plowshares the Priest. And I think I'm gonna play Wasteland. And am I attacking? Yeah, I think so. I think my life total matters less than my opponent's. He does have a free attack though, right? So that's kind of awkward there, but that's funny. Okay. Replace the land, Symbiote. Alright. Another Cataclysm. Not the worst. So now he actually just has a free... Actually, he does not have a free block. But I'm still just going to upkeep him. It denies him 1 mana. So, port. Maybe I should have ported, leaving the white source up to represent something, but... I don't think I'm straight up slamming the Cataclysm, though. Although maybe, actually. Let's see what he does. There's the Cradle. So I guess we are slamming the Cataclysm, huh? There's Survival. Okay. So there's no real reason to Wasteland here. Not just yet, at least. So if I find a land, I can Cataclysm and then seal next turn. It's actually quite a good draw. It's quite a good draw. So let's go Mox, Peaching Plains. Let's go Seal of Cleansing, blow up Survival. And now the question is, do I upkeep tap the Cradle, or do I play out a Sylvan Library? I think it's actually kind of close. I think I want to upkeep tap Cradle. If I library, how much damage can my opponent do here? He doesn't have haste, so he's gonna have... No, he's gonna have way too much mana, right? Yeah, I'm just gonna upkeep port. Like it's just way too much mana otherwise. It's close. I don't think it's just a given what we do there, but it feels like it may be just a tad too much mana, you know? Uktabi. Oof. Yeah, it's quite good. That's a good Uktabi right there. So now I need to find the second white source. Ugh. That is quite bad. That is quite bad. Please don't have second survival. Pretty please. Or is he going on a hermit or something? Dude, that Octavi was so sick. That was such a good Octavi orangutan. That's one of the best I've ever seen, actually, now that I think about it. 7 mana total between Priest and all this nonsense. Nasty core, dude. Okay. So we need to draw exactly white source for Cataclysm. But it's possible that this Masticore just beats us. Yeah, the Masticore's rough there. Okay. I think we lose now. So I'm gonna pack it in. That was rough. It's crazy how good that Octavi Orangutan was right there. So Sphere becomes a lot more exciting on the play, I think. We saw how bad Wayfarer is. Like I'm really off of it in this matchup. So I think I like Spheres better. And I do wonder if Masticore is enough. I mean, my Terror is going to be better than their Masticore. So I think we just submit like this. Game number 3, this time around on the play. I think I like this hand. Let's keep this. I think the nice thing about this hand is that it kind of doesn't care about my opponent's engine, which is nice. And it just kind of hits land drops. I like hitting land drops. So maybe it was better to like play the fetch on one. Not sure. I definitely want to spend this turn just fetching and playing Werebear, just sort of developing my board like this. And next turn we can play Outport. 3 mana to Symbiote and Priest. Phyrexian Furnace is not amazing, but hey, it is what it is. We're looking for a second white source here, and I'm gonna tap my opponent's land on their upkeep. They're gonna have a pretty substantial amount of mana here, though. There's kind of an argument for just... There's kind of an argument there for just holding Ray of Revelation instead of tapping their land. Since my opponent's gonna have an obscene amount of mana regardless, holding Ray of Revelation slows down their survival engine. Although I guess Phyrexian Furnace already is doing that. So my best draw would be, I guess, Mox. If I draw Mox, then I'm gonna be cooking, I think. Their survival. He activates survival, exiling Symbiote. So something he can do here is like get... Okay, Quirion Ranger. I was gonna say he can get Octavi there. Okay. So we know about a forest in my opponent's hand. Tangle Wire. That is so brutal. So we know one card. He's gonna... Oh, he bounces. Okay, just to redeploy. Or maybe he's discarding Ranger to survival. Okay. Replace Ranger. Taps 3, plays Elvis Champion. Woof. Okay, so he has a forest in hand. But he can bounce one of his dudes at any time. So I think I'm cracking to exile Symbiote. And we untap. And I just Ray of Revelation survival. The problem is he's gonna get a couple of activations here. He can like bounce Quirion Ranger probably, and then get a couple of activations. Ooh, just lets it go. Okay, so let's cycle. He's definitely looking for a white source there. All right, it's not bad. Let's play out Wasteland and say go. So now we can plow. I guess we can't plow the champion. We have to plow the Symbiote, which is bad for us. Opponent's last card is Basic Forest. This is 8 damage. Okay, 9 damage. Feels like I'm gonna have to save my mana to Source of Plowshares. The Elvis Champion feels awful. 1, 2, 3. Curse Totem. Well, that's hot. So now I guess... Okay, so now my line is play Curse Totem holding up White Source. And then I get to tap 1, 2. I plow this. I take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down to 3. And then if I top deck a white source, I get to win the game by casting Cataclysm. So I think that's the line. So Curse Totem, ship the turn, and we're going to Source of Plowshares the Elvis. So if I top deck exactly white source, and it needs to be Plains or fetch land. It cannot be Mox Diamond, because obviously I don't have anything to discard to the Mox. But given those conditions, I think I win the game, because I'm going to be left with a Werebear to my opponent's 1-1, like whichever one they choose. So Plow, Champion, that's gone. Show me that White Source, baby. Show me that White Source. Curse Totem and Wasteland. And White Source, one time. Ugh. Yeah. Well, now I'm dead. That's brutal. Yeah. Just one White Source away from winning this game somehow, which is crazy. Very interesting match. Very, very interesting match. This matchup seems wild. Yeah, I can't even like tap this to force them to tap a creature, because they only have one card to tap. All right, so that's gonna be it. This was really close. This was really close. A very enjoyable match. All right, round number 2, and this hand looks decent. Let's keep it. Definitely would like to see some White Sources, obviously, but this seems fairly strong. We get to go turn 1 treetop. We have a choice on turn 3 whether to play the Werebear or the Sphere. I guess that's going to depend on what my opponent does, or just neither. Okay, so I guess we're gonna play out this Tranquil Thicket, and I guess that means we're probably gonna be playing Werebear. Black mana. Well, they're probably gonna take the Sphere, I assume. Yep. So this means that we just kind of have to play this Werebear now. Ursa's Bauble. Huh. I wonder what we're up against. So they crack on upkeep, which doesn't really do anything, but there we go. So next turn we get to either play Terravor, which is going to be at least a 2/2, or depending on what they do, we can just like tap them up. I guess we'll see what they do here. Funeral Charm, kill my Werebear. Okay, doesn't really do anything, huh? Okay, so they want to cycle here, because I can just like, I think I want to just Wasteland and upkeep tap. This means that my Terravor next turn is going to be that much better. So keep tap. I guess we kind of want to play around. What's the 1 mana removal spell? Forget the name. Okay, that's cool. So now I guess we're just going to find the Plains and play Seal of Cleansing here. This rock is not really doing anything just yet, so we just get to chill here. Innocent Blood, that's the card that I was talking about. Chain of Smog. Okay, so I'm gonna discard this and that. And yes, I would like to copy that spell and target you, opponent. I mean, if they want to like make me discard Terravor, I think I'm kind of okay with this. Seal of Cleansing? How are they casting that? Okay, so I guess we have no more hand. But this seems very much acceptable to me. Like I just blow that up, and now just upkeep, tap, factory every turn. We're both on top deck mode. All right. So now, if my opponent draws, if they draw, what's his name quickly, right? We're gonna be in trouble. If they draw a rack quickly, we're gonna be in trouble. But we have so many good draw steps from. Werebear is fantastic. That's a bad one. That's one of the bad draw steps that we have. But that, like Werebear, if we draw Sylvan Library, we probably win on the spot. Werebear is fantastic. Cataclysm, probably not good enough. Bottomless Pit doesn't really do too much. Well, that's awkward. Mishra's Factory, also pretty bad for me. If they draw Mishra's Factory, I mean. I can also just like draw... What? If I draw Cataclysm, I'm probably not casting it, so that's one of the bad draws. Terravor, also one of the bad draws. Sphere. Yeah, okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter too much. It's not that big of a deal that I got discarded. I'm not sure if I was even supposed to play that. This is gonna be an interesting match from here, like an interesting little game where we're kind of trying to see who top decks better. Am I playing this out? I think so. So the only card that this locks me out of casting is Cataclysm, which I'm not gonna cast anyway. So that seems okay to me. And I can cast everything else besides Terravor, of course. I mean, we're playing 28 lands, so eventually we're gonna find some lands, I assume. Seal is great. Yep. Seal is a very good draw there. Means that the rack doesn't get us. Nether Spirit. Okay, that one's kind of a beating. That one is kind of a beating, actually. I'm gonna play this out, actually, instead of cycling, I think. So, because I think I'm gonna need double green so I can draw Terravor and I can cast it. So I think it's correct for me to do that. So now we have, I guess, 9 turns to find the Terravor. Weathered Wayfarer. I think that's a good one. I think that is indeed a good one. So, port you. Maybe I should be porting the White Swords. The thing is, I'm not really afraid of anything my opponent could have here. I take 2. Like, this bottomless pit is kind of doing work for me, I think. So let's wait to see what we draw. We can find Core Haven, which stops that. They have 6 lands in play. Yeah. Let's go find Core Haven or Treetop. I guess I can just get Treetop, which allows me to race. I'll just get Core Haven. So now, I'm assuming the opponent's going to hold their lands. I'm going to hold my lands as well. And we're going to be in a kind of an interesting stalemate. Okay, opponent attacks, prevent damage, port the White Source. Should be back. Maybe I should have ported the factory there so I can attack with Wayfarer. Not clear. Another bottomless pit, which doesn't really port. Sure. So now we serve an upkeep, port the White Source, and port the fact. Let's see what my opponent does here. Bubble. Okay, bubble's good. And I don't think this is a good attack, because now I just get to deal 1 point of damage for no reason. I don't think that was a good attack by my opponent there. Like they, Am I playing that out? I think I'm playing this out. I think I'm playing that out. Because like I can cycle into a Terravor and that's just it's just so bad for me. So by holding on to that, now I get more options. But by playing out my land, I mean, now I have more options. Cabal Pit. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's nice that the black land is not gonna do anything. The black removal spell, like the sorcery removal spell, because if my opponent draws it, they're gonna have to discard it on their upkeep. So now I have a 4/4. That's the turn. So now I don't need to hold on to Core Haven anymore. Port the White Source. Port. So I guess they can top deck the Innocent Blood now to get rid of my Werebear. We untap, see what we draw. Cataclysm. Yeah, we're definitely not playing that one. So pass it back. I'm gonna port on upkeep. And at this point, it's kind of a race, right? Of like, what happens first? Either I find the Terravor, or my opponent finds like a rack or something. But they need to find 2 racks, not just 1. Huh? They took 1 point. I wonder why. Because that's gonna go away. I mean, I just tap it. Like there's no reason to do that. I don't think. I guess they can find Wasteland. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say they can Wasteland one of my ports now. Oh, they Wasteland Core Haven? Okay. Alright, does this do anything? I guess might as well. Prevents them from like doing multiple things in the same turn. So I guess it's fine. What a weird game this turned out to be. So port your lands, pass it back. I feel like I would have ported my port instead of... I would have wastelanded my port instead of wastelanding the Core Haven. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Okay, well, now the game ends. Now the game is over. Port your White Source, port your factory. Let's see if they find a removal spell for the bear. Looks like they didn't. Going for 4. And it's gonna be kind of telegraphed, I guess. But it's probably fine to just like tap Cave of Koilos and not tap the factory. I guess we can tap the other land. Uh-oh, misclicked. Is my opponent gonna fall for that? No. Alright, got me. Boo. Swing. 4 damage. Play a land. So you go. Enlightened Tutor was not cast. Yep. Got him. Got him under the lock. Okay, so Furnace seems okay. Rare Revelation seems really good. Really, really good. Cataclysm seems horrendous, so let's cut those. Aura of Silence slash Disenchant slash Naturalize. I feel like I'm interested in this kind of effect. I do wonder whether my opponent's playing like negators and stuff. That's interesting, right? I wonder if they're playing negators, maybe Kirtar's Desire is decent. I mean, I have Swords of Plowshares, so that just feels just better. I like Aura of Silence. This card seems fantastic. So Aura is gonna come in. I probably want the Naturalize effects. Mox seems okay. Maybe I want to cut one Mox, because the 2-for-1 seems a tough build to swallow versus them. Maybe I want to cut 2 Mox in and just go with this. This hand looks incredible. Wow, this hand is... Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep this one. So if they don't duress me on 1, I just win. Like, they have to duress me on 1 and take my library. Alright. Well, that seems okay to me. Here's a Mox. I'm gonna bin, I think, this step. That gets exiled, whatever. Don't care. Let's play a fetch land. I'm gonna find, I think, a white source. Let's actually find a green source. And we're just gonna play library and pass the turn. So next turn we get to potentially cast Aura. But I'm not too scared about this, really. I can just wasteland that. And I can pay like 1,000,000 life, which is nice for this library. Sphere is decent. I like Sphere a lot. So let's put that on top and let's pay 4 here. And I'm gonna go Wasteland plus Sphere. This Planar Void trigger is kind of annoying. I really want to find more lands, but library's pretty good at doing that, so... Oh, Planar Void is for their stuff as well? Oh, okay. Alright, well, good to know. Oh, they missed the land drop, and I have a port in hand? Well, this game is turning out very enjoyable. So let's put that on top and that on top as well. Let's play a port. Very interested in locking my opponent out this turn. Tap that one. Next turn. So I guess we're not going to be able to activate Wayfarer ever because we're super ahead on lands. So this rack is never dealing a point of damage. Secluded step. Okay, so let's put that on top, pay 4, play out my step, and send it back. I think I'm gonna tap the black source anyway, like the basic swamp. Okay, take white. I guess you're gonna go for a Lightning Tutor. So I mean, whatever they get, they're not gonna be able to cast because we're gonna play double Aura of Silence next turn. So they're gonna have this Fear tax. Also, we know they're missing a land drop, right? Because they missed a land drop already. So last turn they top deck the caves, and now we know that they're gonna top deck whatever they tutor for. So we know it's a guaranteed draw, guaranteed means draw step. And then on top of that, we're gonna have Aura just sitting in play from now on. So yeah, this seems like a good spot for us. And then at our leisure, we can get rid of this Planar Void whenever we want, and whenever we do, we just get Terror online. Alternatively, we can just like slowly kill my opponent with Wayfarer beats. So we do get to choose our own adventure here. Powder Keg, okay. Powder Keg is almost annoying. Almost annoying. All right, so yes to that. We have Wasteland too. Yeah, let's pay 4 life for this. Play Wasteland, waste the white source, Aura of Silence. And now we play the game of who's gonna get tired faster. Is my opponent gonna get tired faster than I am? Or okay, so library, top that. I'm gonna spend this turn to just like play a Wayfarer because it's in a 19 turn clock. So port. Let's see who's the prison deck here. Let's see who's the person. My opponent is off it. Yeah, it's understandable. That was an enjoyable match to play. I'm gonna say I enjoyed that. All right, round number 3. This hand looks quite good, huh? This one is a serious lock. Turn 1 Sphere. Yeah, this looks really good. So what do I want to do? I think what I want to do is I want to throw away this step and hope that I find another land. But this is a very This is a very strong turn 1 play, I think. Follow that up with Wasteland, no big deal. Wow, that's a good draw. Well, Weather the Wayfarer. Next turn we get to, like, I guess I should have played a second Mox, huh? I should have played a second Mox, discard Wasteland, and take it from there. Okay. Looks like we are probably playing against Sligh. Jackalpup. Alright, I can work with this. So I guess we're going to pay 1 to play Mox Diamond, throw away the Wasteland, and the play here is interesting, right? Because I can tap my opponent out, or I can just play second Wayfarer, or I can just play a land. I think my opponent's going to need to play more than a single land, so I'm just going to activate Wayfarer here, find a basic plains, or fetch land. Basic plains or fetch land here. Oh, I could get Treva's. I could get Treva's Ruins. So I can guarantee that I can at least get 1 more activation out of this. Yeah, this is great. So tap 1, play Treva's, bounce Port, and I'm going to play another Wayfarer. This also fixes my mana very nicely. Ooh, that's a great interaction, actually. Love that. Love that. Now we get a nice little Wayfarer activation. We get some value. Next turn we can start tapping my opponent's mana. Okay. So now they can play a 2-drop. I think if they attack, I'm just going to trade, right? Seems like a fine trade for me. If they want to use a removal spell to kill my Wayfarer, I'm kind of okay with that. Now if I find a Terrabor, I know that I can play it. This looks pretty good, yeah. Okay, so now, we can plow plus port. I think I'm gonna port plus activate, actually. And then this Wayfarer, I'm gonna take 2, but now this Wayfarer is going to... This Wayfarer is actually going to go ahead and fetch me either a Cycle Land, or another option would be Cycle Land or another port. Could be interesting too. I think I'm just going to take the 2. I think this Wayfarer is going to give me so much value. They keep playing lands. I could get a second port. I'm just going to activate here. Activate, get Tranquil Thicket, and just cycle it. Werebear is pretty decent. I want to hit another land drop. I think so. I think I'm going to activate Wayfarer here. Gonna hit a land drop. That land drop's gonna be Core Haven. Dude, Core Haven is kind of sick. Can also just get another port. Just gonna get another play port. And do I want to play Werebear is the question here. I think I'm just gonna double port. I could also port plus plow. I think I like that. Let's port plus plow. Let's port plus plow. I'm kind of scared of just like never finding a Terrabor. I feel like that's the way that I lose. I just never find a Terrabor and eventually just die. Okay, that's good. That's good. My little dude eating. This gets me closer to Wayfarer, right? So tap that. And I think I'm just going to plow this Jackalpup. Just Bowl Lining. Yeah, well, I guess I'm going to plow the Bowl Lining. So plow, Bowl Lining. We're one away from Threshold. And as soon as we get Threshold, then this becomes a 4/4 and the game ends, right? So it's 4 mana to play Aura. I think I'm interested in doing that. So let's do white, 1, 2, play Aura, and then I'm just gonna upkeep, tap my opponent. I may have to pop the Aura to itself. I could see myself popping the Aura to itself just to enable Threshold. Right, so we take 2, opponent just bolts my face. Barbarian Ring. Okay. That enables Delirium. Delirium, I keep thinking of being playing too much limited. Okay, so here's the 4/4 Werebear. And now my opponent can't attack anymore. And I just get to double port them every turn. But yeah, I need to find one of my threats here. I think this game is gonna come down to whether I draw. It's gonna come down to whether I draw the Terravor in time or I don't. Feels like the only thing that matters at this point. Oh, Cataclysm. That's how I end the game. Cataclysm would be good. Just gonna tap Barbarian Ring, I think. By tapping the ring, I'm forcing my opponent to like use it right now, so they can't like attack and like block plus shock. They have to make the choice now. And then I'm gonna tap just a random mountain, send it back. Opponent plays Mog Fanatic, and another Barbarian Ring. Ugh. Cataclysm one time. Core Haven. Well, that seems very good. Okay, so for 4, imagine they're gonna block. They just take it. Play Core Haven, pass the turn. So we can only port twice, unfortunately, because I'm obviously interested in Core Havening. Tap Barbarian Ring. It's gonna be 2 down to 6. I may actually get raised here. Maybe the attack with the Werebear wasn't good. The problem is, like, I don't. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be drawing the thing, right? I feel like I need to put pressure on them. Like, if I don't find Terravor, I just lose. So now opponent should attack with both, and I just Core Haven the pop. Take 1, ping. Okay, so they just have the Fire Blast. All right. Maybe I was supposed to hold on to the Werebear just to not die to the Fire Blast, but I feel like I'm losing this game in anyway. Like the only thing was like I needed to find Terravor in time. That was interesting though. So I want Kirtar's Desire. I want Heroes Reunion. I think I want Exalted Angel. Cataclysm seems kind of weird. I do like Spheres. I think I don't want Cataclysm. I don't think I want Libraries. And I think I do want Sphere. Wayfarer is a little bit medium. Wayfarer is kind of medium. I guess Kirtar's Desire even good? Like, Kirtar's Desire stops specifically Jackal Pop. I guess I'd rather have Ray of Revelation than Kirtar's Desire. There's an argument for like Disenchant or Naturalize because it also deals with Curse Totem as opposed to just dealing with the other thing. What's his name? Sulfuric Vortex. That's the card I was thinking of. I think this is fine. No, actually, I'd rather go with Naturalize, I think. There's an argument for Aura of Silence to make it a little bit more expensive. I don't know. I like this hand. Keep this. I think we're gonna go with similar play. Mox Diamond. I think I want some basics. I have to play around. What's his name now? Yeah, let's go with Forest. I have to play around the thingy that punishes me for playing non-basics. Price of Progress. I have to respect Price of Progress. Opponent plays their land. Okay, now this game is gonna be a lot easier. Now this game is going to be a lot easier. Maybe I shouldn't have played my land, actually. Yeah, that was a mistake. I should definitely not have played Lava Dart, bro. Brutal. Okay, so this is gonna be a 3/3. Ish. I don't think I can afford to play a Terravor. That's a 3/3. I think I need to pass the turn. I need for this to be bigger than a 3/3. I would very seriously consider blowing up my own Secluded Step just to make the Terravor into large enough. Overload. Brutal. Okay, that's kind of rough. Wayfair is very good, but they're just gonna flashback Lava Dart. But I mean, if they want to destroy their own land, that's not that bad for me. When I have a Sphere in play. Oh, they have second Lava Dart? Well, that's devastating. Barbarian Ring into pop. Ouch. Send it back. So now I cannot really Wasteland them because that just blows me out. But I'm definitely going to plow the pop. Actually, I wonder if I should have plowed the pop instead of saving it for the other, for Bowl Lining on the previous game. Okay, so Green Source. Port. So I think I Wasteland the ring, so my opponent can't play 4 drops. And I'm hoping to... Now I start porting, and I'm hoping to find a second green source. And if I find a second green source before my opponent just finishes me off, then I get to drop a Terravore, which is going to be able to raise this Sulfuric Vortex fairly easily if I get there. So I need to find the green source. That's the only thing that matters here. Take 2 down to 13. All right. It's need to be tapped green source, but I'll take it. So now we tap on upkeep. Man, what a close game. Because I'm going to be taking life in pretty large chunks. All right, Vortex. Play a land. And here's a Terravore. Something tells me that I'm just gonna end up one hit short. Something just tells me I'm just gonna be one hit short of finishing it off. So this has to connect twice, and I'm at a virtual 5. Yeah, I'm gonna be one hit short. This is brutal. Ugh, that sucks. That sucks. I was hoping to draw Terravores the previous round, and now I just have too many. I drew my Terravores in the wrong order. Okay. Alright. So, there's no real use in deploying a second Terravore here, because like this one is gonna get the job done anyway, so I think there's more value in tapping to prevent my opponent from like casting a Ball Lightning or something. So they either have the Fire Blast or they don't. There's nothing else going on here, so. And it looks like they have it. Oh, they Lava Dart me. Okay. Well, I guess that now I die to Incinerate or Bolt or whatever. Shock doesn't do it. Grim Lavamancer. That doesn't do it. Yep. No, damn it. Fire Blast, dude. I knew it. I knew that this was gonna happen. I knew that it was gonna be exactly one hit short. Yeah, that's brutal. Oh, man. That was so close. That was so close. Great match. Okay, what do we got here? We can keep this hand. Yeah, let's keep this. Kind of slow, but we have some interaction. We have a threat. This looks decent. Let's see what we're up against. Sulphurous Springs into Carrion Feeder. Alright, so here's a Treetop and pass the turn back. Next turn, we're probably gonna go Plains Werebear. Okay. Duress takes our SDP, but it still seems fine to me. So here's a bear. A mighty 1/1. Dude, it's so weird, but also so great to see this. Like, also that's messed up. Okay. Just gonna have to cycle a Tranquil Thicket here. Main deck Sharpshooter. That's not gonna cut it, I guess. So I have to play a fetch. Fetch for, I guess, a white source and play Aura. Alright, so Sharpshooter is gonna kill our Werebear, which is not awesome, but we're gonna have like a big Terravore, so there's that at least. We got factory figured out here. So Terravore is gonna be right now at 2/2. Can we make it any bigger? Potentially. Okay, so let's cycle that. See what's up. Sphere. Is Sphere better than Seal of Cleansing? Probably not. Not right now, at least, when we are actually behind the board. Or is this another Rotlung? Another Rotlung would be... Wow, second Rotlung is a beating. Woof. So... I guess I should have played Sphere. Can I assemble lethal here? I think they're doing some math, because they can go Sharpshooter, ping for 1, sacrifice Rotlung, make 2 zombies, then they make 2 zombies, then they sack zombie, that's another ping, sack Rotlung, make another zombie, so that's... I guess it's not lethal. It's a lot of damage. Carrion Feeder is going to be massive, but it's probably not lethal. Huh, very interesting deck. So sort of zombie aggro. It's kind of brutal. Like, I would be in pretty good shape if my opponent didn't have like the Sharpshooter. I feel like Sharpshooter is the one that kind of offset what was going on here. Okay, opponent just takes a swing there. Okay, they're going for it. Doing so into Swords to Plowshares too. This is kind of weird to me because there's no reason to do this now. So that's the part that I don't... Like, if this is not lethal, then there's no reason to do this. Because now if I draw Swords to Plowshares, I'm kind of in pretty decent shape. Like, Cataclysm, we probably win. If we just draw Clysm, my opponent keeps a big Carrion Feeder. Oh, they can also get Carrion Feeder and a 2-2, which is probably worth doing for them. Okay. Alright, so I guess if we draw Swords to Plowshares, we win the game. Okay, take 7. They can sack Feeder to itself. Swords to Plowshares? Treetop. Yeah, Treetop's probably not gonna do it, huh? 1, 2, 3. Here's the Terravor. And pass the turn. Not the most impressive Terravor I've ever seen. Therapy. Got me. Armageddon. Okay. I mean, we still have a chump block here, so they should have named. Like, I guess there's no point in naming something like Swords to Plowshares. So, but this is lethal. So they just sack here. That untaps. Then my Terravor gets killed. That also untaps. So this is actually just lethal. So what are we up against? Kirtar's Desire seems decent. Heroes Union probably. Exalted Angel seems fantastic. Cursed Totem also amazing. Okay, so I don't think we want Aura. Wayfarer seems okay, but not particularly impressive. I guess I don't want the Heroes Reunion. I think Cataclysm is fine. Werebear seems fine as well. Kind of like some number of spheres on the play, but probably not on the draw. I think we're gonna cut a library. Let's just cut the spheres. My opponent's curve seems to be low enough that maybe just having access to sphere is fine. Do I just go turn 1 planes? Planes into Wayfarer? Yeah, I think so. Dress takes the Curse Totem, which is fine. Not much about it. Here's another Wayfarer, and let's play Treetop and send. There's an argument for just like not playing a land there or playing Wasteland. The reason being obviously that we get to control the terms of engagement, right? So I think this turn we're gonna do that. So I'm just gonna send with 1, and we're going to not play our land. Smother my dude. You got it. Maybe I should have played Port actually. Maybe I should have played Port to delay my opponent from doing anything at all. Feeder, that's fine. We still cannot really activate, so we're gonna cycle another Wayfarer. That is number 3. Let's play a Waste, and I'm going to cast a Face Down Angel. I'm gonna serve with Wayfarer. Feeder can't block, so also would have felt like a fine trade. So now it's interesting because if my opponent plays an, I guess they found the fetch land, but if they had a non-basic, then Swords to Plowshares. Okay. So I get to like Wasteland Mire, and that allows me to go get something else. Can go get. What can I go get? Probably Cycling Land or another white source. We can also just swing. I think I just want to swing. Red. Terminate my angel. Sad. Okay, I mean that's a terminate that's not going towards my dude though, right? So pass the turn. Another Wayfarer. Could have played Port there. Don't think I really want to. Maybe I should, because yeah, I should have. Because the idea is to like keep my opponent off of their colors. So if I had tapped Rotlung Reanimator, okay. So if I had tapped this, if I had tapped this, I'm forcing my opponent to play something else instead. I can Wasteland target itself just so I can activate. I think that is fine. I really want to find another white source. Oh yes, that's what I do. So I Wasteland target itself. That's fine. And I'm going to find Treva's here. I'm going to find Treva's Ruin. And I'm going to bounce my planes. This way I get to develop my mana, fix my color so I can start activating Wayfarer multiple times. But I'm also, you know, doing the thing. Probably going to find Core Haven here. Shepherd of Rot. Seems... Ooh, that's a Cleric. That's kind of messed up. That's a Cleric. Queen of Block there. My opponent's going to sack probably Shepherd. And then we can Oh, they sacked Carnage. Just gonna plow. Take 2. So now it's interesting. I think we're just gonna play Wasteland and just cast a Terror. It's a 3/3. My opponent could have Lightning Bolts, but I think I'm interested in doing this. Next turn, Wasteland can start doing some stuff. I can start finding cycling lands or fetch lands. But I'm forcing my opponent to just have access to a removal spell here for the Terror. Withered Wretch. Well, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Dude, that's such a big problem. That's such a big problem. Alright, I need to find the plains. Werebear. So I'm definitely gonna Wasteland the Springs. Ugh. This is rough. This is pretty rough. This is super rough. Man, that Withered Wretch is gonna destroy me. That Withered Wretch is going to absolutely demolish me. Jesus. Alright. Swing with Terror. Not that we have too much better to do here. Withered Wretch, man. Oh, that's so good. I love that card so much. I loved Withered Wretch so much. Opponent did not activate Shepherd. Interesting. So the good thing is, like, if they don't use their mana, if they don't cast spells in order to deal with the Terror, that means that they're not developing their board. Okay. I'll take that damage. Play Carnophage. Okay. So let's activate. I'm gonna get a cycle land here, I think. Let's get Thicket. Let's get Tranquil Thicket. Untap. Let's. Ooh, we can actually get Treetop going. Okay, so let's cycle Thicket because I really want to find a plow. If I find a plow, then my play is very easy. We did not find a plow, so I guess I'm just going to play Wasteland. I think I serve. If I attack just with Terror, this is an 8/8 right now. A virtual 8/8. I can actually make it... No, I can't make it larger. So if I attack with both Wayfarers, my opponent blocks 1 here, blocks 1 here. Yeah, I think the Wayfarer attacks are fine because it keeps my Werebear being a 4. Definitely gonna Wasteland just to grow Terror. Couple. So it's still a 7/7, probably down to a 5/5. There you go. Opponent takes 4 total. Wait, what? Why is this triggering twice? Dude, it triggers from my Cleric dying? Dude, it triggers from my own Cleric dying. I can't believe that Wayfarer... Wayfarer is a Cleric and it triggers my opponent's Rotlung. I'm gonna lose because of that now. That's devastating. Wow. Didn't even think about that. That's insane. Wow. Didn't even think about that. Well, I'm definitely taking this, going down to 6. I don't think I like that attack. I mean, I have a Treetop in play, so my opponent just blocks here. They exile 3 lands from the graveyards. That is 3 lands. This is gonna be a 3/3, so one's gonna trample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they need to have a blocker. I don't like that attack from my opponent. I don't like that attack from my opponent. All right, Trevis Ruins. Go to combat. Maybe they have a way to sack. Maybe that's the trick here. Maybe they have a way to sack their dude. But I think this is exactly lethal. Like if their plan is just to exile, I think we have exactly lethal. Alright, so a Cursed Totem is definitely a necessity against Withered Wretch. Alright, fetch land. Okay, eat the fetch land. That's fine. Eat another one. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Think my math is correctly here. It's correct. Yep, there you go. Exactly lethal. Yeah, I don't like that attack from my opponent. I mean, they were not playing around fetch land, but also a cycling land would have gotten them. So I think there's like a couple, just too many cards that plays into. So I don't think that was like a good line there. They should have held some dudes back to block. So Tormod's Crypt, Furnace. I don't like either of those. At least not with what I've seen. Kirtar Desire seems okay. Not particularly great for what's worth, but Cataclysm seems okay. I think I like this. The only card I could see an argument for is Heroes Union over Sylvan Library. So maybe on the draw, that is a better switch. I'm not sure. This hand looks fine, I think. I do wonder whether my... Wait, what? Why are they conceding? I don't know why they conceded so quickly. I wonder what happened. All right, I guess we win that one. My hand was pretty strong to be fair, but I mean we had a whole match to play. Okay, last match. Am I crazy for wanting to keep this? I think I'm gonna keep this. Like this hand is pretty disrupting. Okay, we're playing against Elves, so I'm not so stoked anymore. But I think I'm gonna play Secluded Step tapped, because I really need to get to this Cataclysm as quickly as I can. I'm probably gonna play Seal of Cleansing on turn 2. Man, Elves feels like such a rough matchup. Multani Acolyte. Okay. So they do have their engine going. Wow, okay. So they are gonna get to draw a bunch of cards. Probably have to plow one of these. Yeah, I guess so. So let's just plow one of these symbiotes. And I guess I'm just gonna play out the plane so I can cycle. Next turn we can... Okay, so I guess my opponent misclick there. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. They're gonna be fine, but I think that they just skip through their first main phase. They're gonna be able to do their thing. There was an argument there for like playing Port and tapping my opponent so that I get to Cataclysm and then play something else. Survival. All right, so that needs to go. So we're gonna cycle Secluded Step here. Trevis. All right. It's interesting to want to play Aura here, but I'm going to just play Seal. I may get punished by this because this is 3 mana instead of 2. Trevis is going to be so good next turn. Like, I can just float a mana, play Trevis, and Cataclysm, saving 1 more land. My opponent's going to get 2 activations of Survival, so that's pretty solid for them. Okay, so they discard the Acolyte. Interesting. To get Anger. Okay. Then they are going to untap by bouncing a land. And I imagine... I'm going to pop this now, I guess. My opponent's going to get to discard the Anger here, but it's fine. Am I going to... should I slow roll this Cataclysm is the question. Opponent did get another Acolyte. So they still have their engine going. There's Acolyte. Gonna get to do some card drawing. No basic mountain just yet. Okay, that's good for me. So they still have Acolyte in hand, and I love this. My opponent's gonna get to save one of their lands and one of their Elves. They already activated Symbiote, so they're not gonna get to save multiple of them, and that's why I was supposed to Swords to Plowshares then, previous turn. Now the question is, do I want to play this? Man, Wayfarer is not very good. So do I want to bounce Step to get to draw another card, or do I want to? Should I value the untapped source and just bounce the basic planes? Don't care about the Wasteland because I already have another one. But I'm definitely gonna go Trevis. It's just a matter of, I think I want the extra. I think I value the planes better. I value the planes higher. So now let's bounce here. We're just gonna Cataclysm. And this is gonna be, like, it's not gonna be like the best Cataclysm ever, because my opponent gets to save one of their forests, and they also get to save one of their Elves. So it's not great Cataclysm, honestly, but if I let my opponent tap, they're just gonna go off with Acolyte, so that's pretty bad for me. This does mean that I get to, like, Port, so they can't just play Acolyte here. Oh, interesting. Now they get to fetch for a mountain to give everything haste. Do you have Survival? Okay. It's a good draw. That's a good draw because I get to blow this up now. So, play Mox. I think I'm gonna discard the planes. Play Wasteland, Aura, blow up Survival. That's the turn back. Now next turn we get to go Wayfarer into tap their land. Llanowar Elf is free for them to play. Survival number 3 is brutal. Oof. Yeah, survival number 3 is kind of devastating there. How do we do this? Core Haven, not particularly great here. Just gonna go Wayfarer, and I guess I'm gonna upkeep tap the basic forest. This is brutal. Yeah, they're gonna discard Acolyte so they can get Squee and get that engine going. Makes a lot of sense. I guess I'm gonna draw step, so maybe they just naturally draw, I don't know, something. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it actually doesn't matter. They get Priest. Yeah, so I guess I need to find another. I just need to find another, what's his name? Another way to blow up the survival, because I'm gonna lose to it otherwise. Discarding Kamal is interesting. So I guess they're just gonna go wide with the Range Hermit. Multani Acolyte. Yep. It's not looking good for the good guys here. I feel like I needed to find like a Terravor a couple of turns ago, so that I could potentially race. I think I'm trading here. Like, it stops my opponent mana production. Terravor? Werebear. I guess. It's not great, but it is what it is. I'm still probably gonna... I mean, does tapping even do anything? I guess I can tap... It's better for me to tap Mountain, because my opponent doesn't actually have a use for the Mountain. So there's no real use in tapping a green source, because they just use it to like squee away, to go draw something. So doesn't really matter. Man, when Elves gets going, it's just so unstoppable. Such a great deck. I think one of my next decks that I try is gonna be Elves. So Phyrexian Furnace, love it. Ray of Revelation, love it. Curse Totem, please. Probably the 4th Cataclysm. I think I'm gonna cut Aura of Silence. I think Sphere may be fine. I don't care for Weather Wayfarer though. Like, Wayfarer seems like it's gonna be really hard to turn on. Do we care about the library? Probably not. Do we care about Exalted Angel? That is definitely an interesting thought. I guess I probably want some more disenchant effects, because my opponent's probably gonna have stuff like Masticore and whatnot. So I think I'm gonna cut the library for just the naturalize. Just naturalize. Yep, go with this. All right, what do we got? Sphere. Okay, I think this hand is decent. So we can go turn 1 Treetop into turn 2 Sphere, turn 3 Sphere, and we also have what's his name covered, which is nice. So let's play Wasteland, play Sphere. We have Cradle covered, which is very nice. This Terravor is going to be 5 mana. So we do get to blow up the Cradle, which I guess we're going to have to. So Wasteland, Cradle, play Port, and then upkeep Port their Forest. Maybe disrupt a little bit. We really need to find a Cataclysm very quickly. Swords to Plowshares would also be pretty nice. Library is rough. So I think I'm gonna cycle looking for... Okay, that's good. I was kind of just digging for information there, but that's not bad. So I think I'm gonna play for lanes, and I'm gonna tap my opponent's land on upkeep. So tap their land, just hoping to disrupt them a little bit. We can go land this next turn. Then we're going to... I guess we can play Terravor this coming turn, and then Cataclysm on the following turn, and then take it from there. Opponent pays 12. Huh. But they did not find Cradle. So maybe we are in okay shape here. Sphere doing significant amount of work. Sphere doing significant amount of work here. So I can plow Priest to slow down. I think what I want to do is I'm just going to go get a forest, and I'm just going to play Terravor. Just a 4/4. It's okay. Opponent's gonna get to blow up my Sphere, but then I get to Cataclysm. And I'm gonna be able to Cataclysm with a Terravor in hand. And then we're gonna get to untap and then play another Cataclysm, play another Sphere or Source of Plowshares, something. Opponent doesn't pay life. Mantuko Vigilante gets flipped. Makes sense. Sphere down. So now I guess we get to do both, which is pretty good. Oh no, we don't get to plow because I only have one white source. Rough. Yeah, only one white source is pretty brutal here. Woof. Hermit. Well, this Cataclysm is gonna be good. This Cataclysm is gonna be real good. So they're gonna get to keep Cradle plus Priest. What do we want to save? I think we're gonna save the planes. We could also save the port. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna save the port. So we have to bounce the port, and then I guess there's no way to like optimize this because I actually have to use the Treva's runes here. So save the port, Cataclysm. Keep one. Done. I'm gonna keep Cradle, Priest. Makes a lot of sense. Any order. And now we're gonna swing in for 9 down to 3. And I don't think my opponent's gonna be able to keep up with this. Even Priest plus Cradle is gonna have a hard time being able to outrace this 9/9. That was a good Cataclysm. As opposed to the Cataclysm that we played in the first game, that one was a really good one. Also, Sphere did a ton of work. Sphere did so much work right there. So, any changes? I'm not too high on this library. Also, my opponent has a better art library, so I feel a little bit behind in the library competition. So, maybe Disenchant is better. That gives me 5 answers to survival and library. That seems like maybe it's a lot. That feels like it may be a lot. The problem is I kind of do lose to just any random like survival. So I really need the first answer to survival. And I need my opponent to not draw 3 like like they did in the previous game. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna hold on to the library instead. It's possible that Disenchant is better than library, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Game number 3. That is a turn 1 Sphere. Yep. Yeah, we're keeping this. Yes, we are keeping this. We need to draw some lands, but this hand is doing stuff. That is for sure. Turn 1 Symbiote. Furnace. I can go. I guess I can go Furnace plus Plow. If I go Furnace plus Plow, is that better? No, I'm just gonna go Sphere. It really limits what my opponent can do. They do have the Cradle, so I guess I'm gonna have to. We're gonna need Curse Totem as well. Let's plow the Symbiote because it doesn't make sense to plow the Finhorn Elves. Missing land drop there it's big. Like that's really bad for us. Missing that land drop, it's a massive cost. I don't know, maybe I should have gone for that instead. Maybe I should have gone for like turn 1 plow plus, because I'm gonna be plowing the Symbiote anyway, and then my opponent only has 2 mana on turn 2. It's close, I don't know. Dude, I really wish I could draw some lands here in my 28 land deck. Acolyte. Okay. Oof. That's a lot of mana. So I guess we actually do not want to be. Ugh. I guess I have to draw exactly Wasteland. If I draw Wasteland, I can blow up the Cradle and then the Hermit dies. Yep. So I'm gonna exile the STP because I get to. Yeah, that's not a Wasteland. That is not a Wasteland. I do get to play Mox Diamond if I pay 1, but it doesn't really do anything. And now my opponent's gonna get to pay upkeep on Hermit. I'm just gonna take a million. Yeah, I really need to hit that land drop. I feel like if I had hit that land drop, maybe I could have been okay. But now I feel like I'm just too far behind. I am gonna play out the Mox because it gives me more options for next turn. Because if I draw land, I can just drop a Terravore. It's not a big Terravore, it's just a 3/3, but yeah, I'm just dead on board. I am just dead on board. I really need to like just find that Wasteland. so I could slow down my opponent's clock. I feel like Sphere was fine here. It wasn't insane, it was just fine, but the rest of my hand just did not collaborate. I needed to like, just find something else. Yeah, that's not it. All right, GG's. The Elves matchups feels like it's not easy. Like the Elves matchups feels like it's just kind of Curse Totem or bust. Time to wrap this one up. A little bit of a disappointing finish. Definitely unlucky to have been paired against Elves twice. Which feels like a pretty bad matchup overall. I feel like maybe like having a fourth Cataclysm probably helps there in the main deck, but at the same time we saw how we resolved Cataclysm versus Elves and it was just kind of they just shrugged and then kept going. It feels like you need to resolve the Curse Totem for your deck to just do anything, to be able to keep up with all the broken stuff that they're doing. Sphere of Resistance was hit or miss. We definitely did not get paired against decks where it's at its best, and certainly it did some work versus Elves, unless they have, you know, like a broken, you know, cradle into natural double cradle into deranged hermit draw, in which case obviously it doesn't do that much, but still an interesting deck. I'm interested in exploring Cataclysm specifically, and the combination with Sphere of Resistance is still important and underexplored enough that I want to keep trying to see what I can come up with. This still feels like the best shell. I am going to continue working on it and see where I can take it. But both of these cards are very, very powerful, and they just seem like fun. So I'm going to continue trying out this deck and see if I can figure out a way to make it a little bit cleaner. Maybe 4 spheres is too many. Maybe I should be trying to like lower my curve a little bit for that matter. We'll see. Maybe I just need to have more removal in the sideboard. Stuff like Kirtar's Desire just does not do anything against Elves, and that feels like maybe something that we may need to help. Not sure what kind of removal spell would be doing anything versus Elves anyway in green and white, so that's kind of the problem. I feel like if I had, I don't know, something like Oust or anything like that, if that existed, I would be all over it. But unfortunately, the best thing that we have is Last Breath, and 2 mana to trade with an Elf is not something I'm interested in doing. So we're gonna have to look elsewhere. But yeah, the deck seemed interesting, and when it did its thing, it definitely felt very powerful. So I'm interested to see how it fares versus the rest of the format. So kind of disappointing to have run into Elves twice in the same league. But that's gonna be it for this one, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe on the way out, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.